Hi, loves. Welcome to week 5 of AW Villa Vibes. I can't believe we're in week 5 and 5 Islanders walked the plank. Revenge got sweeter, and our villa couples are clinging to survival. The villa is sinking. But with the finale looming, are they building castles or sinking ships? After last night, I would say there are loyalties that will be questioned. And to help me deconstruct this, let's just say, explosive episode, as if movie night wasn't bad enough, is Avani B.
Hello.
Hello, how you
Hi.
doing?
I'm good. How
Last night was exhausting. This
Girl,
whole
this
week,
past week,
exhausting. I'm emotionally invested in this and
I'm
it's killing me.
I,
I was
I'm not
exhausted
gonna
this
lie to you.
morning.
This is probably the first season where just drained.
Between that and FIFA, I'm like, what the hell? The emotions are
For me,
everywhere.
between that FIFA and F1,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
we'll have
Yeah.
a little F1 break for a couple weeks, and then
Oh, and you're back to it. Well, I have to say, I don't even know where to begin this week because there was so much shit that was slung back and forth that I'm like, I forgot what happened Sunday and Monday. I do know that the whole disrespect thing did happen earlier this week, right?
which one?
Well, there's just a lot of shit going around about the whole disrespect thing. Like the boys really didn't get it. And I think
Oh
it's a
yeah, yeah. That was what, Tuesday, I think Tuesday, Thursday.
and I do want to bring it up because you and I have spoken about it a
Yeah.
lot. It wasn't the
No, it
exploration. It,
wasn't.
it was not. It's about treating someone with respect.
It was the blatant disrespect of not only the people, like, as individuals, but also what was essentially, like, their previous couple. And it's like, again, it never was an issue of that you are exploring, it was that you are speaking disrespectfully and acting disrespectfully. And you're doing it to bring yourself up or to put your new partner or whatever up. That's where it, like, really is the issue.
And it was just it was just like the language and the disregard for other people's feelings. I think at
Like,
one
even
point they were
obviously we had the whole
humiliating Anaya. Like it wasn't
Well,
okay.
obviously we had like the whole grandma thing with her, and I mean she poked fun at it later on, but like we had that, and
I,
no, I'm not happy for her, and like, the I don't give a fuck and all that stuff. Like, in the I think we might have spoken about it, but the whole breathe life into her situation, like all of that, like it was like all those kind of things. And then you have Lord Farquaad over here talking about, oh well, if
that's
I had
AKA
more time, it
sincere.
would have been you, yada yada yada. He got lucky that they didn't show the, "Oh, I forgot what Melanie looked like" thing, because
Oh, I
that really would have done it.
know. That would have taken
He
it.
got lucky. You have that, and then with
We're talking
Corbin.
about movie night.
Oh yeah, sorry, movie night. Then with Corbin, you have like all his little things about, like, oh, forget Kenzie, this that, and the third, and like where he's like, "Well, what did I say that was disrespectful?" And I'm like,
N-
"You
It,
can't
it,
possibly be that dense."
that was really disturbing. But
Was this also
finally,
Meg's week?
yes, yes, yes,
Damn, this
yes.
was Meg's week? Oh my
Yeah, it
god.
was Meg.
God
I
help
know
me.
it seems like
Meg ate
ages
down
ago.
again, as usual.
She
She
did. And I think she was also kind of a peacekeeper, and at the same time, I don't know if she liked Casey very much.
I can tell you right now, the ones that she definitely seemed not to like was Parmita and Corbin, that was for sure. 'Cause she looked at
Wait, I'm
Parmita and she was
hot.
like,
We look
"We'll
good
talk about that
together.
in a second." No, 'cause Parmita she was like, "Parmita, sit down." And then Corbin was like, "But you like my shit?" She was like, "Parmita like your shit." She was deflecting. And yeah, Casey, she definitely was like, "Mm-mm." Because once it came to Anaya's turn to do the whole cream thing or whatever, she didn't
That
care
was
how
it.
close she got.
And
And he was getting me mad too, because why can't you take, you know what it is for even Corbin to sit there and be like, "Bro, just take it. Just take it. Face forward, just take it." Because he want to do all this talk, and now he can't take it when it comes back to him. I'm like, "Excuse me?"
But I do want to talk about the boys a little bit. So for me, what stands out was that movie night it was like an implosion, literally. Sincere is, first of all, he's a liar. He got caught.
I think I told you, what was it?
have
He's a
truth,
path.
which is
He's
very scary when
he's like low
someone
key a
says,
path,
I
like a
tell the
pathy.
truth, but not the whole truth. He said that on camera.
Yeah, he said
It's
it like
really,
twice. He said
it's
it in his
really
confessional, and he
disturbing.
said it with the voice, and then
Although
he
now
said it
he's a
again.
truther.
Yeah, he's a changed man. A
Is
week ago.
Sincere finally sincere? Or is
No,
Mel just holding on to a blueprint for another project? That
she,
Bob the Builder shit, that shit is,
she's holding on to him, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
she called it a Build-A-Bear. Builder.
No, oh yeah, Mora called him a build bear. No, but and then honestly, the thing about their whole situation that's pissing me off even more, to be quite honest with you, is that all these girls are over here talking about, oh well, we're still Team Sincere. You should get
Yeah,
back with Sincere.
that's
I'm
a
like,
problem.
y'all are not a moral compass to listen to at this rate. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
I mean, that is, you know what? I don't agree with anything Parmita says, but I do agree with that statement
That
she
was the only
made.
thing that
That
I
was
agreed
the
with.
only
The only
thing
thing,
she
because then
said.
she started talking in the end, and I was like, you just lost all validity in anything you had said before that.
But we look good.
No, when
We
she was
work
talking to
out that one.
Kenzie, and she was like, "You're just petty, and it's not about looks and yada yada." I was like, "Permita, stop talking, please stop," because you had a great point for a second, and then you started talking again. I'm like, there was nothing incorrect, and the fact that everybody started laughing when Kenzie was calling them out on the, because all we've heard up till now about that couple is you're hot, I'm hot. It makes sense for us to be together, and she's trying to defend her couple, and she's like, "You're just jealous because we're both hot and we look good together." And I'm like, you thought that was a defense?
Oh, that
I'm
is
like, you really thought that defended your?
that is I have to say though, I did have to laugh because
Of course.
it's so yes. And I think that's what makes it,
And what,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I mean this respectfully. What makes it even funnier to me is the fact that the boys were over here like, oh yeah, I think Parmita's like good for him because she's older, like older and like the age thing, like it works. She's like, I think she's like 27. I'm like, y'all be so for
no
real.
offense,
I
but
like I said, no offense, but like she might be older than him in age, but in mental capacity, she right
so
there with him.
last week I was talking to you about because I want to kind of clear the smoke on this one. So do you think that Sincere is a changed man? So
I'm
I
sorry, you don't. You know what tells me he wasn't, to be honest with you? The fact that as Mel was calling him out during movie night, once he felt like he was fully backed into a corner, what did he do? He started trying to throw it on her. Oh, but you did the same thing with Corbin. Oh, but we're not gonna like, are we not gonna talk about what you did to Corbin? Like, I'm like, he did the same thing with Soul. When Soul was calling him out, suddenly it's, oh, but you're not an angel either. So I'm like, are you really that changed if you are deflecting and throwing it back at that person? Something that has nothing to do with this conversation, and mind you, never did have anything to do with this conversation because that whole, well, but what about what you did with Corbin? She didn't do a damn thing with Corbin. She didn't like Corbin.
but what I can tell you, I think anyway, because I've been in Mel's shoes, I could honestly say she's gonna keep him at least
Yeah.
until through the show. She's not gonna break up with him. She thinks she taught him a lesson, but I just
The issue is that when you stay, you are telling that person it's okay.
yeah.
And like, I don't remember if we spoke about this on the podcast or like outside of it, but I was telling you, I think it might have been, or maybe it was earlier this week, but you taught me that you teach people how to treat you. And she's teaching that man how to treat her.
And when people show you, yeah, we did have that
Yeah.
conversation,
So
remember?
was it, oh, okay, but
There were
off.
two things you
Yeah.
said, two things that I instilled in you. And the first one is you teach people how to treat you. 100%. I
Hmm.
learned that the hard way. And then I keep this quote in my back pocket all the time because it's real. And it's a quote that came from Maya Angelou to Oprah and then passed down to us. But when people when people show you who they are, believe them because people do show their true colors.
Like
And he has.
he's been showing it this whole time. Like,
He hasn't
and
been anything different.
no, he hasn't. And it's crazy to me because every time you see that hand, they'll figure
Oh
it
my
out
god.
after they get out. They'll start seeing and then they'll be like, oh my god, wait, how many times did I see him do that? They're gonna know. But he also like, well, first of all, that's also his tell. I've come to realize that's his tell.
Ah.
When that palm go up, the lie coming out. No, but he's been showing it for a very long time. It's so funny because I was on Threads last night, and you know when they were talking about the Rita's ice cream or the Rita's water
Oh,
ice,
yes, yes.
people people had to go look it up to see if the Sour Patch Kids flavor was real because they were like, he's lied so much. I don't know if it's a real thing. It's so
Wow.
somebody was like, yeah, it is. I just bought it for my kid like 2 days ago.
I mean,
That's how much trauma he has, even people on the
how
outside.
old is Sincere? He's what, 20,
You know, I
22?
can't remember. I thought
He's
because
older?
I was at some point I was like, is he like 24? Because he
I
acts like he's 21, 22, but I feel like he's probably
He
like
might be
24,
24.
25.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's what I honestly don't remember how old anyone is. I feel like everyone's acting as though they were 18, 19, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Well, they're on an island.
Obviously minus Trinity and Bryce, I think. Trinity, Trinity's what, 22, 23, but acts like she's
She's more
like
mature than
at
that.
least 30 right there along with Bryce.
Well, my prediction is that Mel will stay. They will go through their shit for the last week. They'll do all the
I
interviews
don't
again.
I honestly don't even know if they'll make it out till last week. Given that I think since
They
we're now
unless Mel's come in that he
they're
wants
not
to
gonna
screw
bring in more.
around with,
No, let's be honest. They're not gonna bring in more bombshells. This
because
entire
the
season, I
dates.
think we only had six. We only had six bombshells this whole season, which historically is not very.
Yeah,
And
week
we've
less
only
of
had
sight.
it'll go down. I think between everybody that's still there. But I don't think they're gonna do that because, like, even when
Well,
you think about we've had a lot of dumpings from the beginning to the end.
yeah,
We've had only what there's only up until now it was four Islanders that went home. That was it for the entire 5 weeks that
so
we've
this is it.
gone
This
through.
These are the final couples, you think?
No, we're gonna get down to at least the final four. So we still
How many
have
do we have now?
it's like eight couples still. We
Really?
still yeah, we did two dumping. We dumped two couples because there was I think what 10 girl it was 10 girls, 9 boys. So that was nine couples essentially speaking. And then they dumped two more, which is at seven. They still need to dump at least three more couples.
It's gonna
I'm
and the
I'm
plot
pretty
thickens.
sure. I think that math sounds about right. But
Well,
yeah, there's
what
a
do you
lot of
think?
people still in this villa, so they need to get rid of three more. And that'll probably happen with America's Vote
Oh,
because I
that's
think
right.
usually during the last week they really try to keep it to whoever like the last group of people are.
Do you think Anaya and Carl will be a favorite? I really like them together.
I think
Together.
honestly, I think they'll be in the end. Probably Kata and Zach. I don't like them as a couple. I think she's another one that needs to get the fuck up. Excuse my language. Trinity and Bryce, I definitely think will be in the end.
I like.
And it'll really be a toss up with who that last one will be. I don't necessarily see it being TT and Kate. I
They're
still
not a
don't think they
favorite for
have
me.
the public votes on that one from what I've seen. And I don't think it'll be Parmida and Corbin. That's for sure.
Do
No.
you think that's all aesthetics, or is it
Uh, even
lust?
even like when you
Lust for sure.
even when you think about like when she tried to talk to him momentarily about like wanting to know more about him and was like take off your shades so I can like make eye contact with you. He took off them shades, slapped her ass, and like told her that he was like, "Let me get a kiss."
He doesn't do talking.
No, he doesn't.
Not his
But
thing.
that's also because like I know people like there's a lot of people that I say, "Oh, well, when he was with Kenzie, he was like seemed like," and I'm like, weirdly enough, they seemed whenever we saw them,
They
they spoke a
spoke
lot
more.
more
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
actually had more in-depth conversations. I don't
Yeah.
remember what they were, but I just remember they did actually have in-depth conversations versus the fact that I can actually remember these two conversate like Parmita and him, their conversations, and it's only because they only talk about what they look like and what they look like together. Like that was never like she Parmita wanted to hate that comment so much, but it's not untrue. We only ever hear about them talking about how hot they are. And then the one
Yeah.
time we hear anything outside of that, it's him saying that like her asking him, "Oh, like are your parents like, are they romantic with each other?" And he was like, "Nah, my dad was in the beginning and then he stopped that after they got married or whatever." And I'm like, "Girl, that sounds
That's
like
a
a normal thing for that
sign.
man."
That's a sign. Just saying.
That's what I was saying. Oh, speaking of science, can we talk about the owl real quick? The owl in the room.
Spirit, spirit.
That was the ancestors coming to talk.
She is
The
Dominican.
ancestors have
Yes.
because it is funny though because she was gonna go sleep in soul ties and we know what soul ties has meant to people in the past. That's usually the where you go when you're like, especially if you're gonna sleep there, it's because your couple's being
He
stupid,
should
but
have
you're
taken
gonna get
soul
back.
ties and get.
Dude, they literally said if she goes to get her stuff, say no, you take the bed and I'll go sleep at Soul Ties. That man was knocked out. He was sleeping all
He
pretty.
he's a piece of. I mean, he's showing her clearly who she is
That,
and
that
who
man
he
doesn't
is.
care.
Sorry,
That he doesn't care. I'm like,
and
what?
and then she's what killed me was, and then she's impressed by petals and a breakfast.
It's the same thing that Corey did for her. Just instead of being on the little sandbox upstairs, it was where was it? Say less.
Yes.
Mind you, and then
I
that's the
wish he
only.
would say less.
I wish some of these people would say less. Jesus. Oh my
So
God.
wait, so I do want to get into Kenzie and her apology tour.
I fear we might have some
Movie night
differing opinions.
Okay. Well, movie night destroyed her. I mean, public opinion, in my opinion, I think the only reason she stopped exploring with Gal was because she got caught.
That wasn't the. That's not necessarily. I think people are forgetting she had that conversation with Dylan before movie night.
It's just the way she
She,
moves. Like even when
but
she
she
was with
didn't know.
Corbin and Caleb.
But honestly, no,
Move-
I've been thinking about it for the past few days. We've only ever outside of like Casa, her making her choice for Casa, she's only chosen her couple once. Every other time she was forced into a couple with someone, and she was also forced to restart because night one, when the whole green spot, red spot thing, she chose to stay with Zach. Zach chose to go somewhere else. So she had to restart. She was single all that time. So she was trying to get to know Sean. Sean gets dumped anyways. So, and she like had that one conversation with Gabe that they weren't really into each other. So then what was after that? Then that was, I think Corbin came in, right? Then Corbin, she was really like, I really do think that she was feeling him, and had he not said
Yeah.
the things about her that he did, and that she not seen them, I think it's very possible she would have stayed with Corbin, because she did seem to like
Yeah.
Corbin. Because then remember with Caleb, she was forced with Caleb, so she was removed from the couple that apparently she ended up liking a lot more than any of us actually knew, and she was thrown into a couple with Caleb. I think and I do want to say, because I think we've all experienced this, I think it's different when we see it from other people. We don't recognize it unless you really, really think about it. But there have been multiple times, and I think we've all experienced it at least once, where we say, this is the type that ideally I would like, I see myself with, right? And which for her was that cowboy thing. And then you find somebody that is that type, and you're like, I think I thought this was what I wanted, but after being with that person, like, and trying to see if it would work, you realize, oh, that's actually not what I wanted. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I want to say though, I do think it was wrong for how she went about that with Caleb, for sure. However, she did in fact tell Caleb to explore, because she was open about her exploring with people still. She never said that she was closed off. And I think the thing is, with this season, we're starting to shift into that mindset. Remember, Love Island, nobody, until you say I am closed off, we are a closed off couple, you are technically still exploring. And there's nothing wrong with that. And she told Caleb, hey, I'm still exploring, and I'm still open, and I'm still wanting to get to know Corbin, and I still feel like I like you, but I'm not sure. You should explore. She did tell him that. And she made her choice during that letter. And that during that choice, it was Corbin. After that, we have Casa. Corbin, obviously, she sees him act very disrespectfully and speak very disrespectfully about her. And then, mind you, he didn't even remember that he did it, which made it worse. One thing we've seen about Kenzie is when she says, I'm done with the situation, she says, I'm done with the situation. And so what does she have to do after she saw Corbin? She had to restart. And honestly, personally, with the whole Jen situation, I don't think Kata had the right to go running to Jen, given the fact that as they were having that conversation, Kenzie, she didn't even know that was a conversation that was happening, because she, after that kiss happened with Gaul upstairs, she immediately went to, I was going to call him Zach, what's his name, to Dylan, and said, hey, this is what happened. I honestly don't like, I do want to say, I think the handshake thing, it shouldn't have been worded that way, but I did understand what she was
like handshakes.
I did understand what she was trying to say because we have spoken about it before. And it was she I think what she meant to say was the kiss was trying to see if there was chemistry there, which obviously a lot of people have, and I think we've spoken about it, or I know, or I'm pretty sure you have spoken about it on the podcast. A lot of people need to see, like, they might have that emotional chemistry, like, when they talk, and like that connection when they talk, but they don't have it when they're kissing or anything beyond that. And for a lot of people, that is a big part of a relationship. And I know
This reminds me of the Ranji clip, the comedian who was saying that that
I grew
women,
into it.
yes,
I grew
that
to like you.
yes, and men don't do that.
And
So
it is
Kenzie
kind
was
of,
acting kind of on looking for chemistry, right?
well, and I mean, when you think about it, like, I guess the question, like, for me in terms of that is, would you rather have her have stayed with somebody who is deemed like a good guy who she didn't like and ended up hurting later on because she didn't like him, or would you rather it's kind of like messy now, but she not proceed with a relationship where she knows she's not really like fully liking that person, and she's actually legitimately leading them on for the sake of, well, people want me to close off, so now I'm closing off because that's what you guys want me to do.
I can see where you're coming from on that. It's just, I guess it's like, I don't know. I
Because
just felt like there was some sneakiness there. That's all.
I think she's been very open, minus that one time with Corbin. And I still think it was definitely sneaky that, let's not tell anyone. But I also
Yeah.
did forget that the night before that, or like that same night, the villa was everybody was shitting on her because they thought she kissed Corbin on the dock, which in actuality she hadn't. It's just because of the way that it looked, people thought it, and suddenly they were already treating her some kind of way over something that she actually hadn't done. So, and honestly, I'm trying to, and now that I'm thinking about it, like, I've been thinking about this like all morning. I don't think she told anyone that her and Dylan closed off. I almost wonder if she's starting to keep things to herself and rather just take the, because she's been very, like, I do want to say what you want about her, but she's been like very, I want to make sure I'm not hitting with an emerge moment. But I just, because I'm about to have a moment. Hold on. She's been
Epitome?
very
No.
receptive. I just want to make sure receptive is the right word because they
Yeah.
got me a little messed up here. She's been very receptive to the things that have been said. And if she does disagree,
Yeah.
she's disagreed very lightly and said, and been like, you know what, I don't personally agree with it, but I see where you're coming from. And realistically speaking, like, you can't sit and villainize the girl, because it's like, if she really was that bad of a person and like, was what everybody wants to say, because I think a lot of people want to say that she's a female version of sincere, and I
Yeah.
think that is, truthfully, I think that's insane.
That's
I
yeah.
think that is a stretch because we have seen that man lie over and over and over again and refuse to acknowledge anything being true. He's refused to take accountability for it, and he's continued to do it. And like with her, she has, I think, is people want her to be locked in with someone, and so bad because we see every other couple locked in with people. And they're like, well, how are you not locked in with someone that, after 5 weeks? And again, we forget completely about the history that only she has had to deal with. She's been the only
Yeah.
one having to be being put in positions where she has to start to get to know people over and over again, because either they leave, or they choose to go explore with someone else, or they got disrespectful about her. So she's the only one that's had to do that. Or she's been forced into a couple with someone that now, like, now that I think about it, she may or may not have actually wanted to choose ultimately. She might have liked them, but she might not have known if that was actually the person she wanted to be with. And then once you're forced into a couple with somebody, you kind of
Have to
have
play
to,
game. Yeah. So 5 islanders are gone. Obviously, you're a Kenzie
No, I'm
support.
honestly, no, like, I'm not like a fan, like, I'm not like, I'm a Kenzie fan. Like, it's just, I don't think she's as much of a villain as people try to
Okay.
portray her
Okay,
as.
fair.
And I don't think that it's necessarily fair to an extent, like, with how she gets spoken about. Because essentially, again, certain areas I don't necessarily agree with, like certain ways that she went about certain things. However, when people are, we only have one couple that is officially, based on Love Island terms, closed off, and that is Trinity and Bryce. Everyone else, by technicality, is still open. No one has said the words, I am in a closed off couple. So everyone is open and technically, by technicality, still exploring. However,
Fair.
they are choosing not to do it, and they say I am open, but then they start acting open, or their couple starts acting open, and it's why are
Yeah.
you acting that way? So she is doing it based off the wording that Love Island uses. She is open and she is still exploring.
So
Well,
now,
actually, sorry, up until now, because it looks like her and Dylan did close it off.
did they?
That's kind of what I assumed from their conversation when she told him about like Gaul and stuff like that, and she said that she realized like she wasn't really feeling it, because we never saw her and Gaul speak ever again after that kiss,
No, no,
and
definitely not.
it's
And by the way, Gall is,
you
I don't
know
know, like the whole thing with him
I
and
don't love him,
Jen.
but it's dead
I
I'm not gonna
don't.
lie, it's dead crazy to me the way that Jen started spinning that conversation,
I,
and
I,
then she started hitting me with a Meredith Grey, and I was like, girl,
that was just the.
you're acting like you haven't been in a relatively solid pairing or whatever up until now, because when she was with Gabe, she wasn't saying any of that, and now she doesn't seem to remember that she was in a good couple. It was just they chose to dump him.
I
So
don't know.
again, I don't necessarily like love him. I don't love him either, but I did find it, to me personally, I did find it kind of weird that y'all are having this conversation, and he was the one that was like, you know what, I don't necessarily see like this going anywhere.
They had
I
no.
think
Their
we No,
communication was
their
awful.
communication was horrible, but I think again, I hate using this word again and again and again, but by the technicality, he was the one to cut it off. What do we see her do right after that to everyone else that she can talk to? Oh, I cut it off, or oh, it was mutual. She said both of them to everyone, but she's either said I've cut it off or it was mutual. And
So
she's also adding to creating certain conversations around certain people, and then the whole thing with Kenzie and Kata telling her, and I do think there is possibly possibly some projection there in terms of certain things, and then I think it was interesting that Amora went and told him what she said, but granted, Amora has no loyalties to anyone in this villa right now. Nobody's, I
so
don't think, really tried to be friends. And Amora goes to go and she's like, she was dogging you in the glam room, right?
yeah, I know
And
about, but
but then it's also, for Jen's the same person that was like, well, I don't want to talk to him. I don't need to have a conversation with him. And then suddenly she finds out that the boys are picking and somebody's vulnerable. And she's like, well, you have my fate in your hands, right? And I brought you here in a way of saying like, I brought you here, so you should keep me here.
well, it's not about friendship, it's about connection. So now we have 5 Islanders gone. Amora, Gal, Caleb, Jaden, which I
And Jen.
never remembered to even talk about, and then Jen. So
Well, the thing is with
they're
Caleb and
gone
Jade,
now.
yeah.
So
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
even know
that
why they were
they
together.
well that not even just that, but in this villa, the worst thing you could do, low key, especially if you're a new couple, is tell other people you are having problems,
That's
because
fair.
that will make you target number one when it comes to the next dumping.
That is fair. I hadn't thought about it. So going into this final week, I can't believe it's gonna be 6 weeks.
And
What
you
do
know
we
what?
do
I'm
when
okay
it's
with that.
over?
With that,
Ultimatum though on Netflix. Starts
I
July
have
15th.
I have zero clue. Whoa, my bad.
Uh,
I have zero clue what I'm gonna be watching after this. In
I'm
terms of,
gonna be
I do need
watching
to
The
catch up on
Ultimatum.
In the City though.
That's a whole
Cause
You
no,
haven't seen it?
I haven't seen. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie. I'm
my
probably a
god.
couple episodes behind. If I'm being quite honest,
It's definitely
I
worth
would
a
say
watch.
probably two. I haven't seen since when they did the special episode of Summer House, that extra one,
Yeah.
which was I think like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother episode. So messiest of the week. What do you think?
How do you choose between Sincere and Casey?
I'm gonna say Sincere. I'm sorry. It's just he reminds me of someone way, way long.
You know what though? Speaking of Casey, I do want to give
Liar.
it to Anaya real quick. She's a big person, because the fact that, even after the movie night, she came over
When
to him while he was with the boys and was like, I just want to apologize for, standing up and being disrespectful and like yelling in your face like that. That is not who I am, and that is not what I want to be perceived as. Even after seeing all of that, and she was still like, I want to apologize for that. That is not who I am. And give it up to Carl too, because Carl handled that so beautifully.
I
He was like,
know.
don't apologize. You were speaking based off of how you felt, and you were right for that. And like he validated her and didn't make her feel like she was insane or anything else or like being too much. I was give it to
I,
Carl.
I
Give
I
it to
like
Carl
Carl.
for that
I
and for
like Carl.
his release.
I like Carl. Gosh. Okay.
He's like a Disney prince. He's so cute.
So before we conclude, your 4 picks for the finale.
So I know I mentioned it earlier, but I think it'll definitely be Bryce and
Trinity.
Trinity. Yeah, Brittany, Kata and Zach. Still, but
Uh,
whatever. What was that third one I said? Who else did I say? I said somebody else.
Parmida.
Oh no, my bad. Anaya and Carl. And
Oh yeah, I like them together.
honestly, I know people are probably gonna like some of y'all are probably gonna hate me for this, but honestly, it'll be a toss up between either Melanie and Sincere and Kenzie and Dylan. To be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah. Cause I don't, I can tell you right now, I don't see anybody really wanting, especially given the history. And I think the Love Island fandom does hold on to grudges
Yeah,
quite a
that's
bit.
true.
They're not going to put in Parmita and Corbin. Cause given that people are still like, Parmita, you had 1 point and then you ruined it. And I just don't think that they're gonna give it to them or even put them in the top 4. And I still don't think they're gonna give it to KC and TT. I really don't.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think so either.
regardless of how much they might seem to fit with one another, the way they've gone about a lot of things up until now, it's just I personally think that a lot of people would see it as they've already ruined their chances and they can enjoy the few days that they have left in the villa, but they probably won't like
And
last to the fourth. And
and
with Sincere and Melanie, they might want to keep Melanie in, but I don't necessarily know if people usually we often have people keeping a couple in because of one person. However, I think what Parmita said during that the compatibility thing, I think it did strike a lot of people, and a lot of people were like, "Melanie, the fact that somebody that's not even your friend is telling you that says a lot." And
yeah,
I think there are a lot of people out there that do agree with what she said. And as much as they love her, it's like release her from the shackles of that man.
well,
So
we
it'll really
will.
be between like who they have less disliking for. I won't even say hatred, but less disliking
No,
for.
dislike. Yeah, that's fair.
Because
Oh,
like
and by the
again,
way, and
and
I have to mention this. The way they did the voting, I mean, the couples had to say it out loud. That was brutal. I
I think it
saw
was
the
one thing to say.
face when Mel voted her off. That was tension in that
Well,
dressing room.
just it is. I mean, because to an extent, it's also kind of interesting because they want her to stop exploring, but they also criticize her because she did stop exploring.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really she's in a damned if I do, damned if I don't
It's
situation.
like a microcosm. The villa is like it's almost like
That's
I mean
also
outside like
well,
y-
because like and it's
damn
funny
if
because
you do, damn if you don't.
yeah, because it's funny because with Kenzie, it's like when you think about it on the outside, like when we talk about like dating, some people are like, yeah, I only want to date one person at a time, or I only want to talk to one person at a
And there's
time,
people like
and
more
then multiple
times,
people. And so
multiple people,
my
multiple people.
question to that is like, because we're essentially seeing the same thing, we're seeing real life scenarios
Right.
happening all in one
In a bubble.
yeah, in a bubble. So naturally, you're gonna respond to different situations
Yeah.
differently. However, if you was to take her, remove just her situation, and put it on the outside, and
Yeah.
connect it to she's just somebody who's getting to know multiple people, trying to see who she likes, who she doesn't. If you were in that if you
That's
were in that
true.
situation, are you going to each of those people and saying, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I kissed person B. I still like you, but I just want to let you know that I kissed person B."
Oh,
Telling
good
people,
point.
are you saying that to people? No, you are probably not.
Well,
Why?
there are
Because
some
you want
people
to
that
keep it
date
people.
multiple people and tell everyone.
But I think that is a small percentage of people that say, "Hey, I just want to let you know what's happening with everyone."
That
Because
well,
most people
that's
want to
really
keep
none of your business.
exactly. That's what we would say outside the villa though. But
100%.
we're in the villa and now it's you shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. And it's
You're not because you're not going to go and
and I
tell
think
person A, B, and C that you were kissing person D.
and I
And you're not
think
going to
the
tell
other
B and C
thing
that you were messing with A.
and I think the other thing is that men and women when they date multiple people, the
The perception
perception
is
is
different.
different.
Yeah, it is.
That's actually a good point. I hadn't
Because
thought about.
then think about the way that not I mean both the Islanders and the public have kind of responded and forgotten about how Corbin has been up until now. Because
Yeah.
Corbin, because they were the first one to say that, oh, Kenzie, well, you're doing X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, actually, Corbin was the one that said it. That how she was like acting up until now. And then are we forgetting Mr. Let Me Get a Kiss? He's done
Yeah.
every single girl in that villa, regardless of whether he was talking to them or not,
That's true.
if he can kiss them. And
That's
we
true.
forget the difference is too. Usually we have a bunch of challenges where people can kiss other people in
There were
challenges.
less challenges this
There were
season.
a lot less challenges, and anything there were, don't talk too early. We still have Sunday technically. So
Not.
don't say that. We still
That's
have
true.
Sunday.
You're
They're still
actually right.
recording. Stop.
I hope not. I
Wait,
hope not.
for Thanksgiving
Okay,
anyway.
just the thought of it is giving me.
But usually we would have more challenges that allow people to really see, oh, am I actually vibing with this person? Is there like chemistry here that I didn't know about? We usually have that, but they don't have that this year. So I think that does add to why there's so much kissing outside of like challenges because we've had like three.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I do want to say, and that's in argument for everybody that's in that villa. Like
No,
nobody's
that's
really been able to see because any challenges they have, and I think that's why this year any challenges they had to kiss two people. It was their couple and somebody that wasn't their couple. I think
that's
they were
fair.
trying to push that, but it's just it wasn't enough and enough frequent challenges to really make people say, well, "Am I vibing with you?" And I didn't realize I was. Because then that's why we've had a lot of that. I think I like her. She looks at me and I
Yeah.
look at her and we seem to have something when we look at each other kind of situation. Yeah.
We shall see. The votes will tell a story. The couples will be trembling, and the finale is set for July 12th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. So,
That's
we'll have to see whose love story is built to last and who's a sandcastle washed away. Let's ride this wave until the end. And I just want to give some little kudos to Miss Maddox because that green dress,
thick and
the green
thick
goddess.
and
I mean, my God, I didn't think it could
between
get
that and
better.
her red dress.
Oh, that peekaboo. I mean,
And
Ariana.
I follow the girl that made that dress, and so
Oh,
I
really?
watched. Yeah, I watched how she made it, and I was like,
Well,
yes,
I want to know who the
yes.
stylist is because
Oh, she loves
whoever
her.
it is,
Her
is
stylist.
she knows her body, she knows what fits. I mean, she knows it's unbelievable. Like it's
And the one thing
very
I do
rare. It's
love
very
about
rare. We
one thing
need to do a whole nother
Girl, one
episode
thing
on
I've loved
that.
about her
Fan.
is like even how she plays around with her hair. I've been loving the
Yes.
brunette, like the dark brunette moment that she's had this year. I think the that specific shade fits her incredibly. I remember
I do like
we did
Ariana's a
talk about
blonde
that.
too, though.
I do too, but the brunette that she has had a lot of this season, it feels like such a is it femme fatale?
Yeah.
Is that the word? Or like the phrase? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. That's what I was pretty sure it felt like, but I wasn't. I just wanted to double check. Again, I don't want to have an epitome,
God,
emerge
stop.
moment. I will not. No, you are not gonna live that one down with me. No, but I no. She just it's such a power. Like it brings out a very different persona in her
Yeah.
that I love. Like it's incredible on her, and I love how she's been playing with her hair. Like first
Well,
we're seeing it straight, and then we see like the bombshell waves, and then we have these like cute curls. Last night, I'm loving it.
I mean, yes, we are loving Ariana Madix and her stylist.
She's
So kudos
yeah.
to them. But we shall see. Let's ride the wave until the end because it's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. Thank you, loves, for joining us on week 5 of AW Villa Vibes. Our hot takes are on fire. Stay tuned. Bye.